This is about to get very freaking juicy. It really looks as if Mark Cuban has just decided to join Team Ripple in putting up the big middle finger to Gary Gensler and asking for some clearer freaking rules. And I'm loving this, guys. I'm loving every living second of this. I am feeling good. So today, we're going to be covering that and everything else which I have open here at the top. I have so much content to give to you guys today. Make sure you press that like button if you are enjoying these episodes. And in the comment section down below, who will be the next person that's going to publicly or in the background, who cares, support Ripple? Let me know in the comment section down below. All right, so there was this little discussion that Gary Gensler put up. I believe I had it open. Maybe it was actually a different tab. No, we have it here. He said, if someone asks a lawyer, accountant, or advisor if something is over the line, maybe it's time to step back from the line. And I personally feel as if this is a direct response to Ripple because, really, if you guys remember, what happened in the William Hinman deposition when when Ripple asked William Hinman what he thought of Ripple? He basically said, well, if you continue like you're doing right now, you're crossing the line. It's not good, right? Basically something along those lines. I kind of feel as if that's a hint towards there, but all right. Going right up to the edge of a rule or searching for some ambiguity in the text or a footnote may not be consistent with the law and its purpose. Once more, a little bit of a jab towards Ripple, it kind of feels like, because of how Ripple is trying to see the rules and not act upon them. According to the SEC, the spirit of the law is about protecting investors. Once more, the moral dilemma, right, about protecting investors about the Ripple lawsuit. Our rigorous enforcement regime at the SEC is about following the facts and the law wherever they may lead on behalf of investors and working families. From that perspective, I'm thinking, no, it's not Ripple because obviously, first of all, they're not protecting investors. Second of all, they're definitely not doing it on behalf of investors and definitely not for working families. I mean, I work. They're not doing it for me. So, I'm an investor. They don't do it for me. And this includes deceptive conduct by private funds, offering or accounting frauds, insider trading, market manipulation, failures to act in retail customers' best interest, reporting violations, best execution, and fiduciary violations, or any other forms of misconduct. Now, let me give one quick heads up, right? Which is that the SEC does do a good job sometimes. It's not as if the SEC is all bad because there's definitely a lot of scams throughout these last couple of years that they have, basically found out and saved us from. It's about a couple of rotten eggs specifically either within the SEC or a couple of actions that this, mediocre organization has kind of gone through. I mean, some really rotten actions, which are really understandable and are making the entire freaking oven smell like doo-doo, all right, because of a couple rotten eggs inside there. Now, in case you missed it, read my full remarks at FINRA annual conference. We actually went over all of that, but obviously, he should just provide clear, I can't say he, right, but they should work towards clearer rules, and Mark Cuban now came in as well because it can't really be ignored anymore. He said, how about making the lines bright and clear so people know what the rules are? The problem is that people are looking for gray areas, is that there are rarely any defined rules. Regulations through litigation, once more, reference to Ripple, kind of feels like, regulation through litigation traps all the people who can't afford a lawyer, accountant, or advisor. And you can see that two ways, right? From one perspective, this is really a stupid statement because if you're running such a huge organization where the SEC is coming after you, you most likely are available to afford a lawyer or accountant and stuff like that, right? So I'm not exactly sure how he came up with that. Second of all, regulation through litigation traps everybody, not just only the people who can't afford that type of stuff. It's actually more haunting, I think, for people who can't afford it because they're going to be slapped with a really way bigger problem. A lot of these guys who can't afford a lawyer, most likely, right, don't have that much to lose either. Not always true, not a one line, right? It's a really thin line right there that I'm kind of walking on right now. But you guys get the drift. If it's me who gets sued by the SEC or Ripple, I mean, what do I have to lose, right? My little wealth, what is that gonna do? What has Ripple got to lose? I don't know, $10 billion, for example. Yeah, I mean, I'll take full responsibility on my own, but for Ripple, that's they're feeding hundreds of families, right? Who am I feeding? All right, so just a little thought perspective right there. But Mark Cuban, I think, is also on Team Ripple. No litigation, but make the freaking rules. The SEC has two choices, either litigation or rulemaking, and they choose litigation. Why? We don't know. And the rules are not clear. Mark Cuban knows it too. Ripple is completely right in their assertion that the SEC has given fair notice. They just haven't. All right, moving on though, right? Because we can't stick with that for their entire day. By the way, guys, make sure you check out Buybit. A link is down below. It is the exchange that I use to trade, but I definitely also recommend you guys to check it out. All right, there's a World Series of Trading competition going on right now. Really big competition, $7.5 million in total that people can win. And there's a team competition, which I definitely recommend you guys to enter too, as it is completely free, doesn't cost you any freaking thing. So once more, make sure you check it out. Let me quickly see if we can type into this TBC here. We don't have many people because, as I've explained before, you need to have a little bit of BTC or a little bit of Ethereum in there. A lot of you guys don't have it. But if you do have it in there, make sure you join because there's nothing in terms of cost. And in this case, joining our team can be very beneficial to you. So make sure you check it out. Let's check it out. The Chosen One posted, you're telling me XRP can't reach the ADA prices of what BITRUE predicted this bull run of $150 when every bank in the world is about to flip the switch. What has Cardano actually done to change our world? Screw all, but be slow and full of empty promises. Now, I'm going to quickly say this guy, no, let me not say that, all right? I'm going to say I very much disagree with some of the stuff that's being said in this tweet, and I want to share that with you guys. Once more, see this as constructive criticism, not hatred, as I believe there's something very beautiful in every statement and everything. However, let's agree that sometimes people will disagree, right? We're all human. We're not special in that sense. I'm not a transcendent being here. I'm going to sometimes disagree with somebody, and I take pride in that. Okay, so what I mean is, well, first of all, I do have money in Cardano. I do think it's a pretty solid project, and I do also think there's definitely a difference in where Cardano and XRP can get to because they're different things, right? I mean, logically speaking, XRP, in my own opinion, deserves a higher market cap than Cardano eventually. But that doesn't mean that XRP all of a sudden has to outperform ADA over the short term. It could literally be so that Cardano is just a better performer right now. Would that be bad? No, right? That's the way that things go. There will always be something better, always. And if Cardano is that coin right now, let's just be happy that we hold it. And if you don't hold it, why not? Right? Are you too afraid that it's going to be bad? Are you too afraid? Why exactly are you not holding Cardano? Maybe you should ask that question. Guys, in the comment section down below, write it down. Are you holding Cardano, yes or no? The reason I'm asking is because if you're not, why not? Is it just not your cup of tea? Do you not like the peer-reviewed approach? Charles Hoskin, for example, recently explained, they're not a company to go first to market. What that means is they're not necessarily innovators in a certain field. They are, let's look for things that have already been established, and we establish them better type of method. Again, the peer-reviewed method. And from a certain perspective, I'm really all up for it because, well, it works, right? You don't have to be first in doing something. You just have to do it really freaking well. That's the same thing for crypto. Guys, if it was really about what channels did crypto use first, I'd be one of the biggest right now because I started this stuff early in 2017 before most of the people that you watch right now did it. Yet, we're not at the top of the top. Why? I mean, I'm still happy with every single person watching, don't get me wrong. Why? It's because it's not always a first come, first top type of thing. It's about what people can do it the best, what people can find out the best, or what companies can do so. You know, you guys get the drift I'm trying to pull you towards. There's an entire system behind that type of stuff. With Cardano, they've chosen this specific niche of just working things out that others have built first. And I think it's really freaking smart. Because you don't get these half-assed empty promises or really not so thought out new concepts. No, you get stuff that really works well, that you can trust and rely upon. And it really has caught my attention for a long time. Now, if we're talking about $150 per ADA or per XRP, I mean, obviously, whenever we say $150 per ADA, it's easier to understand because, well, the ADA price right now is at $3. Let's actually kind of pop that up. The ADA price right now is at $3 and the XRP price is at $1.24. There's a little bit of a discrepancy there, right? So I would say that if you put XRP at $50, that's the same thing as saying ADA 150. Or if you put ADA at 30, that's the same thing as XRP at 10-ish. Not completely, but you guys get the drift. It's more towards that area. And now ADA, as I've actually said before, it's still pumping up. Guys, make sure you watch my videos. If I make dedicated videos on ADA, watch those too. I literally said in my last video, I think it's a smart idea to buy Cardano. And look at how the price has come from here as well. Right? I told you all, I'm not going to be buying around the days of September 12th. But for right now, I'm just buying and stacking it up because I do think we'll have a positive ROI. Now that we're closing towards $3, though, it's getting more difficult because I just bought a big chunk at $2.50, and I'm a little bit afraid to buy more right now because, I mean, we've already gone up quite a significant amount today. So I'm waiting for a little bit of a dip maybe. Then again, if I didn't have any, I would still pick it up, I think. By the way, Cardano is also tradable over on Buybit on the USDT perpetuals, if you didn't know. It's something I wanted to get involved with when the price was really low, but the price just kept pumping, and we never really got a good chance to buy in. Our last shot was here on about, I guess, August 19th, a couple of days ago, when I really wanted to get back into it. But as you can clearly see, I should have bought and I didn't. Why? I actually... Oh, I want to slap myself in the freaking face. Guys, this is actually just my ignorance. I just missed it. Because we put these two price targets in here because I was showing you guys where we need to kind of correct from and then watch that area. Because usually we trade breakouts like that. So once we surged past with the confirmation, this is where I should have bought into it. And right now that would mean about 20% worth of profit. With about times 5, that means I would have doubled my money over the last 4 days or so. I'm going to slap myself so hard in the face. Oh, I was just not watching the chart for ADA, guys. I was watching oh, no. I was watching it on Binance where I'm buying it, but not the chart which I had my trading setup on. I forgot that I had a trading setup. Okay, I'm going to okay, you know what? I'm going to go cry in a corner today. Yep, I've decided. I'm going to cry in a corner today because I could have doubled my money in a couple of days and I didn't. And you see, guys, that's completely human too. That we sometimes cry because we make dumb mistakes. But I'm going to see those dumb mistakes as learning. All right, I need to just put better alerts down that I really remind myself to trade properly. And I guess I should just cry more often. All right, so Credible Crypto posted, as we approach key resistance between 52 and 60K, it is time to be cautious. While it's possible we break through, this region is the most likely place to see a correction if we're going to get one. Also, funding has flipped positive for the first time since our 28,000 Bitcoin bottom. Interesting. Very, very peculiar, very peculiar. And that's a reply to his earlier message from a couple of months ago, which said, if we can break 35 to 38, I'm looking for a move towards 45, 55. If we can get it to 55, I'll look to head short. I know if we manage to get there, many will be euphoric, calling a new all-time high, when in reality that region will most likely be the place to see a mid-term rejection. Have a plan. So 2 things to say. 1, Credible Crypto, I think, right? Don't take this as truth or just quite yet, but I think, is also one of the people. Once more, I don't know for certain. Take this with a grain of salt and do not take this as a fact. But I do believe he's one of the people who puts up a lot of predictions on prices. And so this, for example, in June 28th, could, once more, hypothetical, because I'm not sure on this. This could be just one of his many tweets about the price, right? For example, one thing I can do, if I go back to my profile and look for a couple of my tweets where I said that XP is surely going to go up from the point at which it was at, let's say, for example, 10 cents, and I keep retweeting those. I've actually said at a couple of points as well that I think XP might go down for a little bit, right? Maybe, for example, once it went at $1. If I just retweet that stuff at the right time, even though I put up 5 predictions, again, I'm not saying he does that, I'm just saying hypothetically I could. If I just put, those retweets up at the right time, it might make me look like a freaking genius, right? Even though I don't really have to predict anything, I could just put up a couple of different ideas and one would definitely work out. I sometimes just want to kind of, tell you guys about that. Then again, this hedge short area, he's calling it out prior right now. So let's even before as well, don't get me wrong. But let's see how this is going to come along here. So he's saying, okay, for Bitcoin, about 53,000 or so towards 60. It's going to be a little bit of an interesting area, but let us just watch. Hassan Al-Nazi said, if your goal is to accumulate XRP and your sell target is 3 digits and more, then you shouldn't worry at all about the pennies up or down. And guys, I keep kind of talking about this one, and people often like to react in a certain way to me. I say, guys, if you really worry about 125 per XRP or 115 or 135 per XRP, you're playing the wrong game. You're playing a short-term game, not a long-term game. If you're in the short-term game, though, and you're trying to quickly trade this, you shouldn't be looking at these videos for advice or help in that sense. You should be working, analyzing the chart to make a quick little buck. Because ultimately, making a quick buck like that is extremely difficult. And if you think you got the skills for it, go right on ahead. But in these videos, I always tell you, I sometimes do think I know what I'm doing. And I am definitely profitable in my trading endeavors. But I'm never confident enough to tell other people what to do in terms of trading. And I definitely don't want any of you guys to follow what I'm doing in terms of trading. However, I can give you guys my opinion and what I would do or what my thoughts are. And you can kind of use those to reflect upon yourself what you think about that. And if you want to follow that along, you go right ahead. But I'm never recommending you to do so because ultimately I may be very much wrong and I don't want you to lose any money because of me. All right, just quickly putting that out there. But guys, that was it for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe. And as I've said before, I'm going to find myself a good little corner, nice and tight, nice and cozy and dark, not so cozy actually. And go cry for a little bit because I could have doubled my money. And yeah, it's going to sting for a little while, all right? It already stings really, really quite a lot. I don't really have this too often except for the fact that I had it open right now to show you guys. And that's more euphoric to me, guys. I find it at least 10 times as nice to get a good trade in when I'm doing it with you guys in a video, specifically when I've explained the setup to you all before, right? I told you guys how I'm going to trade Cardano, yet I forgot to do it. That hurts like a freaking dump truck. It's just, if I just didn't, because right now, not making the money doesn't hurt me at all. It's about the fact that I didn't take the setup that I showed to you guys. Hopefully some of you guys took it though. How it usually works is when I put in these areas, same thing for XRP. If it's usually an area of resistance or interest in that sense. Sometimes it's with the past, sometimes it's just our expectation or prediction. Now, this area of interest we kind of wanted to come down from, which we did, which you can clearly see here. And once we breached it, since we breached it with severity or with a confirming candle, this is usually a breakout that I trade and that I buy into. And for XRP, let's quickly open it up as well. We have the same thing, I think, the same setup. For XRP, it's the same type of way. Right now, you can clearly see we have the same zone for XRP right there as well. If we get to that area and we touch it, nothing, right? It's once we break out above there, so get a green candle with a confirming candle that I'm going to buy in. But with XRP, there's a little bit of an symmetrical triangle here that makes the situation a little bit more interesting. But still, the same idea applies, though, all right? So for if I forget, that's most likely a trade that I would grab. And so if you're watching and you're thinking, oh, what you going to do? That's most likely what I'm going to do, guys.